Sign decides to leave Frieren's group, choosing to search for his lost friend, Guerrilla Warrior. Frieren, Fern, and Stark continue their journey toward Oberst, now missing the healer who usually kept them steady. They are a bit open to danger. They stop to rest inside a cave, but Stark notices something's wrong. Fern is shivering, pale, and burning with hot. Frieren flips through their supplies and finds a notebook Scene secretly left behind, filled with medicinal herb notes, almost like he expected this. Using magic, she diagnoses Fern and turns out it is just a simple cold, but still have to take ample rest. Frieren identifies which herbs can cure her from the book. Stark insists they find a warmer shelter, and fortunately, a kind woman offers Fern a bed while Frieren and Stark search the nearby forest for the ingredients. They went on gathering many herbs, and for the final ingredient, then got to a blooming cherry blossom tree. A quiet, beautiful place in the cold winter. Stark asks why Frieren held Fern's hand when she was in bed, and Frieren remembers it as Himmel, the hero, held Frieren's hand when she was sick. And after the final ingredient is collected, Frieren cooked up the medicine almost like a witch. Fern is given the medicine, and soon enough, she feels better. The next day, Fern wakes healed. They thank the woman and continue their journey to Oberst, stronger than before. Following Sign's departure, Frieren, Fern, and Stark arrive at the magic city of Oberst. Their immediate goal is for Frieren and Fern to acquire their first-class mage licenses, which are necessary to continue their journey to the northern plateau. Upon attempting to register, the party faces a restriction. Only 5th-class mages or higher are eligible. Frieren lacks a formal rank, as she couldn't keep up with the constant change of order in mage. However, a callback to an earlier item called Holy Symbol resolves the issue as Frieren presents a holy emblem given to her in the past. A nearby high-class mage recognizes the artifact, surprised by it, and accepting it as proof of Frieren's qualification for the test. Then we see another test taker, the powerful mage Ubel. She is confronted by the warrior craft, who saves her from some bandits, even though he knows that Ubel was responsible for the deaths of a few bandits, and realizes he has actually saved the bandits from her. The exam officially begins. The mages are divided into groups of 3. Frieren was teamed up with 2 third-class mages, Lawin and Kane. Their task is to capture a specific type of bird, the Stelly, within a time limit. And the exam begins. The first phase of the mage exam begins quietly. But the forest is anything but calm. Teams scatter in every direction, each chasing the elusive stiller birds to catch, creatures so sensitive that a single hint of mana sends them flying, and all of them being mages makes it that difficult. Frieren, Lawin, and Kana push deeper into the woods, and immediately they start fighting. But once they saw a stiller, the sister's true power is shown as Kana uses her water magic, shaping streams to guide the stiller's movements, and Lawin simultaneously freezing the water to trap it. It's chaotic, but somehow the two sync perfectly, slipping into a rhythm formed from years of bickering and relying on each other. But the stiller was not that easily catched as it flew away with its pure strength. Frieren then tells them to just observe first, and once found its weakness, catch it. And as they wait out the night, they realize stillers aren't the only thing to worry about here, as they are in a forest and a mythical beast attacks Kana. But thankfully, Frieren was there and saved her using a ring spell that can contain almost any beasts. And as they sit together, Kana opens up, telling the story of how she and Lawin met. A childhood rivalry that started with constant arguing, but slowly became trust, comfort, and unspoken teamwork. Listening, Frieren smiles faintly, reminded of Fern and Stark. The time is running out, but now Kana has a new plan. The episode begins with Frieren remembering a moment from her past. Eisen was once scared to face a dragon, and Himmel pretended to be feared as well to help him feel less nervous. This memory highlights how Himmel supported his friends in thoughtful ways. Back in the present, Fern's group actually already caught their stiller, but Ubel reminds Fern that stealing from other groups is allowed, which means there is also the challenge of protecting their bird from other mages. The next morning, Frieren's team reviews what they learned about the stiller. Frieren mentions she used a binding spell based on folk magic, which she used previously on a bird-like monster, but it only works at close range, and Stiller can sense them from far away with command. But they begin forming a risky strategy to capture their own Stiller, a plan that will likely pull them into direct conflict with other teams. Fern's group, now with the Stiller, just has to survive and wait out the exam, but they run out of water and must travel to find some. But as they talk, Werbel's group ambushes Fern's team. Fern blocks all the attacks, but they demands to hand over their Stiller before the fight escalates, but all of a sudden, a bright flash comes from the nearby lake. This is revealed to be Lawin from Frieren's group, freezing the lake as part of Frieren's plan. And it disrupts every group trying to gather water. Then we see Denken's team, an experienced mage. They observe how other teams react and discuss how the exam is designed to eliminate inexperienced mages. Denken criticizes the system, but still works within it. After inspecting various water sources, Denken figures out that Frieren's team will target every pond available and fill it with mana so that the still won't go near there and keep the water near them mana-free. Frieren waits patiently for hours, but the only mana-free water in the entire forest sitting there completely concealing her mana, and finally a Stilla arrived and sits on her, showing the true power of concealing mana. Lügner and Denken celebrate, but the victory doesn't last long. Denken was waiting, knowing for sure Frieren has to use her spell to catch the Stilla, and once he saw it, he was prepared. Episode 20 of Frieren shifts focus to the fierce battles of the Second-Class Mage Exam. We follow multiple fights unfolding across the forest. First, the ruthless Ubel faces the disciplined soldier mage Verbal. Their clash is a toe-to-toe, but Verbal uses a powerful binding spell, demanding Ubel's Stilla. But even when he has her defeated, he doesn't take it, a choice that puzzles her. But after a lot of just talking and showing mercy, Verbal prepares to finish her, but Fern arrives, revealing she has defeated Verbal's comrade, Era. Fern even claims she killed her. This shocking news means Verbal has failed the exam's rule of having a full team always, and surprisingly, he spares Ubel as he already lost. Once he's gone, Ubel realizes Fern lied. Era was only knocked out. It was a brilliant bluff to save Ubel's life. Meanwhile, Land, Fern's other teammate, uses his intricate illusion magic to outwit and defeat his opponent using some Loki type of shit. We then see a quieter moment with Verbal. He carries his defeated teammates, Era and Shaf. Era questions his kindness, and Verbal reveals a weird motivation, as he never really wanted to kill, but he once promised to a girl when he was little that he will kill all demons. It's not pure kindness, but a profound personal vow. In a twist of fate, this moment of carrying his team leads them to spot and let them capture a Stilla. The episode's final act sets up the main event. Denken's team confronts Frieren's group. The agile Laufen manages to steal Frieren's Stilla using her insane speed, and a tense standoff follows. Denken's ally Richter argues for lethal force to win, but Denken forbids it, as he and Frieren share know from their lives, killing for a mere title is beneath true mages. But Richter did have other motives than a simple title, as explains the real prize. The exam's founder, the legendary mage Serie. She is a living archive of all human magic, as she too is an elf and will grant the victors any spell they desire. And he wants that, and Richter then isolate Frieren by casting a spell to move the earth itself, trapping Lügner and Denken. The episode ends on this cliffhanger. Two powerful groups, led by Denken and Frieren, are going for a major clash, with stolen Stilla and trapped allies raising the stakes. We open in the distant past. A young Frieren accompanies her first master, the great mage Flam, to meet a legend, Serie, the immortal founder of the Magic Association. Serie, who sees eternal life as the ultimate privilege for a mage, is intrigued by Frieren. She offers to grant the elf any spell from her infinite collection, but Frieren declines. She expresses a simple desire to wander the world and discover spells on her own. This shocks Serie, who withdraws her praise. However, Flam passionately defends her pupil, telling Serie that Frieren's endless, humble curiosity is precisely what will one day enable her to defeat the Demon King. This philosophy echoes powerfully in the present-day battle within the exam forest. The conflict is split into two fronts. On the first front, Richter of Denken's team has trapped Lügner and Denken inside a powerful barrier. He lectures them on the superiority of his defensive magic and how normal defensive magic only made for magic attacks is useless against modern magic, and completely destroys them with it, as they are also in the disadvantage of not having water nearby and confident that they are no threat. He states he will only kill them if his leader, Denken, loses. And down there, Frieren confronts Denken directly. Denken, wanting a swift end, unleashes spectacular high magic attack, making the attention of the taskmasters on him as well. But Frieren, embodying the calm efficiency we saw in the past, counters and subdues him with precise, fundamental, and basic of magic, like child's play magic. With Denken defeated, Frieren cleverly forces the speedster Laufen, who had stolen their Stilla, to surrender by basically using reverse psychology with Denken's life. She then binds both of them to a tree. Then, Frieren reveals her grand strategy. She informs Denken that she has already analysed the very fabric of the exam's barrier, a barrier created by Serie herself. She then goes on, casting a spell that can completely shatter the legendary barrier, stunning the exam proctors watching from afar. This act is not just for the aura, but now, with the Serie's barrier gone, Denken can now summon water freely from the rain. Seizing the moment, Lügner and Denken execute a perfectly synchronised, overwhelming attack, destroying Richter decisively. With all threats neutralised, Frieren praises her students with proud headbands, and now they can pass. We then see Fern's team still waiting for the time to be over. And back to Denken's team. Now with basically no mana left, they were going to lose, but then they stumble upon a team with no third teammate to steal a Stilla. And drained by mana, Richter asks how they are going to steal. And Denken teaches that even if they can't be a mage and use magic now, they sure as hell can be men and use their hands. And Denken's goes for it. A montage then reveals the 18 mages who passed, including all our key players. Now waiting for the next test. We also see Stark just sitting alone missing his party. Like and subscribe for more recaps like these. After a long night, Frieren and Fern returns only to see Stark sleeping till evening. And now with Fern mad Stark try to cheer up a grumpy Fern with good food. Meanwhile, the teams reunites in town. Richter gets roped into dinner with Denken and Larfen. And in the shadows, Ubel confronts Land, copying Verbel's binding spell and revealing her dangerous love for magic. The groups all converge on the famous Old Bell restaurant. Denken's party spots Frieren's table, but leaves them to their meal, as Frieren enjoys a stack of meat, just like she did 50 years ago with Himmel's party in a flashback. While the taste has changed over the decades, she finds a new happiness in its enduring quality. And now Fern is happy again. Until again, the next morning, Fern is upset this time because Frieren overslept. Stark, caught in the middle, broke his peace by taking Fern shopping for snacks. And while there, they met with the mage apprentices Lügner and Denken, who are back to their arguments and fighting. Their stroll is interrupted by the northern warrior mage Verbel, the one Ubel fought, who requests Stark's help on a mission. With Fern's permission, much to Stark's dismay, he's temporarily taken. Back at the inn, Lügner and Denken thank Frieren for her help in the first exam with a gift, triggering a memory of Himmel. In the flashback, Himmel tells Frieren that to be remembered, you must touch someone's life, even in small ways. In the present, a messenger bird delivers the instructions for the second exam. The note reveals the proctor will be the formidable mage, Sense, known for her high failure rate, where she has only made 4 tests in history, in which none passed. The stage is set for the next great challenge. The daunting second phase of the First-Class Mage Exam commences. The proctor is the legendary mage, Sense, known for her brutal tests with staggering failure rates. She reveals the arena, the ruins of the King's Tomb. The objective is straightforward, reach the deepest chamber. But the path is shrouded in danger. To ensure survival, she distributes enchanted golem bottles for emergency escape with a stark warning. Shattering the bottle saves your life, but ends your exam. Tensions rise as strategies diverge. Veteran mage Denken advocates for cautious teamwork, but many candidates, driven by pride and competition, choose to go it alone. In a surprising move, Sense decides to personally accompany Frieren and Fern, not to guide them, but to observe the duo whose power she recognizes. As they descend, Frieren's millennia of experience surfaces, both wise and foolish. A flashback reveals Himmel's romantic view of dungeon crawling. The thrill of discovery, fighting monsters, and uncovering treasure. It was this spirit that originally drew Frieren to adventure. In the present, however, her obsession with finding grimoires leads her to ignore Fern's warning, resulting in her getting chomped by a classic mimic chest, much to Sense's bewildered amusement. Elsewhere, the dungeon's true nature manifests. Denken's small alliance faces animated stone gargoyles, their first combat test. The gargoyles seem to be powerful opponents, but with the different skill sets of the mages, they destroys all of them. But the battle proves the dungeon's lethality when a trap isolates one member, forcing her to use the escape golem and fail the exam. The exam's stakes are viscerally confirmed. In a quiet burial chamber, Sense and Fern share a poignant moment. Sense analyzes Fern, noting her exceptional skill but questioning her underlying motivation. Fern's answer is simple yet profound. She continues her magical journey to walk alongside Frieren and share in her small joys. A humble purpose that echoes Himmel's lesson about touching lives. The episode's climax unveils the dungeon's ultimate defense mechanism. Verbel's party is ambushed by one of the most flawless, autonomous stone replicas of themselves, which means the hardest obstacle here are themselves. After a difficult fight with the same opponents, Denken's group presses forward, only to enter a new chamber. The camera pans up to reveal their next and most terrifying opponent. A silent, perfectly sculpted stone replica of Frieren. The copy stands motionless, its gaze promising a confrontation against the very pinnacle of magical power. The stage is set for an impossible battle. The mages forms a desperate plan. To defeat the Dungeon Lord Spiegel and erase his replicas, they must first get past the perfect copy of Frieren guarding his door. But how do you kill a flawless imitation of a legendary mage? The answer arrives with the sharp minds of Denken and Lügner. They reveal the replicas have a creator, Spiegel himself, hidden in the treasure vault. And the path is sealed by an incredible spell maintained by the Frieren replica. There is no way other than the fight. Fern, however, has been observing her master for years. She devises a theory for killing Frieren and tests it, firing a spell at Frieren. And in that moment, Denken makes the crucial deduction. Frieren has one fatal vulnerability. For the briefest instant when she casts the spell herself, her flawless mana detection flickers. It is a window of opportunity, smaller than a heartbeat, where she can't see another mage around her. The plan is set. Frieren will engage her copy in a magical duel, creating that precise moment of blindness. Fern will be the sniper, waiting to fire a single decisive Zoltrak spell through the opening. And the group prepares to hold off the army of other replicas converging on their location. Frieren rallies them with quiet confidence as she remembers how a strategic plan like this was done with Himmel and the party, and smiles knowing the fun it was. The battle commences, and the animators goes crazy with the animation, and the dazzling clash of spells between Frieren and her double begins. After a lot of aura being thrown in, and Frieren and her replica unleash their full power, the moment arrives. The copy takes the bait, casting a formidable spell. In that split-second vulnerability, Fern acts. The episode ends with her Zoltrak blast piercing the chaos, a beam of light aimed directly at the heart of perfection. The second exam's true horror is revealed. The dungeon boss, Spiegel, is a powerful being that can create perfect replicas that mirror a mage's power, skills, and mana. And the only way to win against one's replica is by teamwork. For the pacifist Proctor sense, this is the ultimate test of analysis and coordination, not just brute force. In the tombs, Denken's party is in a desperate struggle, barely holding their own against a flawless, silent copy of Frieren. Meanwhile, Ubel finds Land injured, his escape golem stolen by her own replica, and everyone is in desperate situation. But ever manipulative, Ubel weaves a plan not just to fight her double, but to ensnare Land's loyalty. She battles her replica, knowing very well she could be killed because she knew Land would come. And when he does, he created a moment of distraction to shatter her copy. She reveals she knew the injured Land was a clone all along, and orchestrated the entire fight to make the real Land feel indebted to her for risking her life. Elsewhere, Frieren, Fern and Sense is chilling and discover a hidden mural chamber, a beautiful monument of history, and after a while reunite with the exhausted Denken and his team. They learn of the Frieren replica blocking their path. The group instantly brainstorms solutions, restraint magic, hypnosis, but Frieren calmly informs them she is resistant to such spells. The hypnosis specialist Edel, in another corridor, confirms their worst fear when her hypnotic magic fails against a Sense replica. She deduces the copies have no true minds to influence, only perfect predatory instincts, and is forced to use her escape golem and quit. With hypnotic magical useless, Frieren concludes the only way forward is by force. But as the group decides itself to a nearly impossible battle, Fern steps forward. She states, calmly and with certainty, that she knows how to kill Frieren's replica. A stunned silence falls over the veteran mages. Intrigued, Frieren turns to her prodigy student, and the episode ends with a simple, powerful suggestion. They will build their entire strategy around Fern.